In a world where the marks think they know better than the wrestlers and the bookers, the Fantasy Booking Institute exists to pretty much do exactly that. This is a visit from the FBI. Welcome to another visit from the FBI, your episode of the Fantasy Booking Institute, your weekly dose for pro wrestling fantasy booking. I am your host, Detective Mark Smarks, and I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime fighting. Starting off, District Attorney Vincent K. Fabe in the dark.
What's going on, man? How are you?
Doing okay, man. Doing okay.
Yeah, just trying to get all set up. I was running a hair behind. Holy smokes, that's bright.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, I gotta get my headset. So I'm gonna take my camera off and
you do that. You do that while I introduce the other part in our lovely stream. Fresh from up north, RCMP JLB. What's going on, man?
It goes good. It goes good. Another shitty Raw and another great week. You know, I could be positive that in Quebec, their curfew is ending this Friday because I can't talk anything good about wrestling. So there's that, ladies and gentlemen.
There's good stuff to talk about wrestling. It involves Double or Nothing this weekend.
That's very true.
I haven't got to watch NXT today, but I've heard some good things from it because we're recording this, of course, right after NXT has gone off the air. Well, about an hour after or so, but anyways, but yeah, so fun stuff there. If you are new to this particular show, the Fantasy Booking Institute is pretty simple. We're going to take turns challenging the others to book some unlikely and often impossible thing in the world of fantasy and professional wrestling. So we don't discuss these in advance. We make these booking things up on the spot because we think that's a whole lot more fun. Before we get into
I don't
all
like
that,
the way you say impossible.
they're often impossible.
We could create a time machine at some point.
We actually, from a physics standpoint, there's two sides to this coin going on right now. There are certain physics people who think time travel is impossible, and their evidence is, if it was possible, why haven't we seen time travelers yet?
True. Going back in time is actually impossible. Going forward in time is actually possible.
Man, that again, there's debate in the physics community over all of that. But I mean, technically speaking, we're going forward in time all the time. Right now.
Yes.
And in fairness, there is a person on this planet who holds the record for forward time travel, and that is an astronaut who spent over a year on the space station because in that time, because he's traveling faster than the rest of the Earth, technically he aged like, I want to say it's like 1.8 seconds more than the people on Earth. So that's the world record for time travel right now. Anyways, so that's
quite a fun fact. Jesus.
It's a crazy fact that I know straight off my dome because I'm weird like that.
Welcome to the wrestling podcast, folks.
Yes. Welcome to the wrestling podcast where we talk physics.
I feel like maybe we have another podcast that we could do. Shasta daisies.
It was an interesting look there. To anyone joining us on the live stream right now, welcome. If you're not on the live stream, if you're listening to this or watching it later on YouTube, you're also welcome here.
Get on the live stream.
Yeah, I get it. Our recording time is not exactly the most convenient for everyone because it's relatively late, especially if you're East Coast.
Blasphemy.
Hey, I'm still here.
Yeah, see, fucking JLB got here, so.
In fact, he showed up late for that very reason. Not as late as me, but I was already on it. I just wasn't ready.
But so, anyways, before we get into the fantasy booking, though, I do like to remind people that we are part of the Tatnus Co. podcast network. So make sure to head on over to tatnusco.com. Click the links to all the different shows that are on that network there, and check them out there because there's some great shows. And then come back here. We do live streams twice a week, Sunday night and Tuesday nights, 10:30 p.m. Central Time. So you got to do the math to figure out when that is your time. But
It's a quick Google, guys. I promise you, it's a quick Google.
Yeah, it took JLB like a whole 3 months to do it.
Oh, stop it! I'm always on time, except for today.
Yes. But also make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. You can click the links in the doobly-doos down below for all of the places to listen to the podcast or watch it, our Facebook, our socials, all of that stuff is all in there. So make sure to check that out. But otherwise, we will kind of get into the fantasy booking part.
I want to point out one thing about the socials. Your beard is looking unusually Officer Mark Smarks today and not very Hulk Hogan.
We did not reach our stretch goal on Patreon just yet. It's a sad day, brother.
You know, Mean Gene.
I'm saying the stretch goal is still out there. We get 10 more subscribers on Patreon. I'm going full NWO Hulk with this thing. So that means the dark on the side, the blonde here. I'm doing.
So there's only 10 left.
That's 10 left until we make it to there.
Wow,
that's all we need there.
Interesting that we had as many as we did beforehand, and we've kind of hit a stale spot here, but that's all right.
But so that being said, I was thinking to myself today about what can we do to help the podcast, and we were talking on the WBU earlier this week about doing watch-alongs for episodes of WCW from 2000 or 2001, just to kind of compare to where we stand with WWE right now. And I think that might be something that we turn into a Patreon exclusive.
That's a pretty good one.
Get on there. So if you want to see those, you're probably going to have to head over to Patreon. It's just $3 a month. Hop on there. You get to watch us watch crappy wrestling from 2000. And we
dibs on Vince Russo being the champ.
We get to decide whether we would prefer crappy wrestling from 2000s to the shit that we got from the mainstream here today.
I mean, to be fair, anything's better than this stupid freaking Kennel from Hell match. So I'm all down to watch WCW.
One of my lights just shit on me.
Yeah, I was not happy that somebody decided to challenge us on botch-alongs to watch the Kennel from Hell. Somebody suffered through it with me.
Yep.
You guys gave me the choice, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yep. He did his job. He had one job, and he did it perfectly. He made us miserable.
Yeah, he literally punished us with that.
Yep.
I would watch the Life and Times of the Yeti again before I watch that again.
Well, we're not going quite back that far in WCW, so
no.
But we might get to see the 3 stages of hell Vince Russo match if we time it right.
Oh, nice.
Anyways, but we are going to go ahead and get in to the fantasy booking part of the show, the Fantasy Booking Institute.
Time out. We need to tell JLB to turn off his porn behind him.
It's my Chromecast screen. I'm like, when did Chromecast ever get porn? Oh, no, it's technically Netflix. I think it's showing Ozark right now.
Oh, great show.
Yep.
And I can tell you when Chromecast got porn, and we're just going to leave that alone.
Yeah, well, certainly will.
Yes. Yes, we will move on to the Fantasy Booking Institute. As always, I open the floor to you guys to see if any of you want to do your challenges first before we get into my challenge. Any takers?
I'll take that as a no from JLB.
No, I guess
Yep,
not.
that's
I'm
a
still trying
no
to.
from
Yep.
JLB. Is that also a no from the district attorney? Going once? Going twice?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I want to make sure that I don't take a Stadium Stampede one if you're taking the Stadium Stampede, because you'll have a better version of it than I would if you do.
Well, I am definitely not taking Stadium Stampede. I really did think about doing a themed one for Double or Nothing. But considering last week we did themed ones for Hell in a Cell, I kind of, for me, wanted to take a step back and go to something a little bit more fun. And this is an idea that had been percolating in my head for a while now. It's going to be a little bit of a change of pace from the previous challenges that I've done. But what I'm going to do is each of you is going to get slightly different of a challenge. Not going to get exactly the same. So you have to decide whether you want to go first or second. I'm going to tell you what the challenge is first, so you don't have to go into it blindly. But the challenge is I am going to give you 3 different current wrestlers. And you need to book the 90s wrestler that you would most like to see them feud with in their prime. You don't actually have to book the feud or whatever. If you want to, you're welcome to. But I just want to see if I throw out, say, Jinder Mahal, who from the 90s in WCW or WWF you would most like to see that person feud with. Now, I'm not going to throw Jinder because nobody wants that.
Who wants to hear about Jinder? Nobody wants to hear
Yes.
about Jinder.
But I'm going to try to keep it ones that I think we like, right? I'm not going to try to shit on people, right?
Okay.
So who wants to go first?
I'll go first if JLB doesn't want to, but if he wants to, he can have it.
Okay. I'll go first, I guess.
Okay, JLB will be going first. So, your first wrestler, current wrestler, that I want to know who you would have them face in classic, 90s era wrestling, is Jon Moxley.
It's funny because his alter ego's on your shirt.
Yes.
Yep. Is that why you did him? Is that why you did Jon
That
Moxley?
isn't exactly why I did him, but it did play into it.
Okay. 90s. Okay. And we're talking because technically, well, would we dare say Dean Ambrose was his prime? Because Jon Moxley isn't technically his prime. Or are you referring to the 90s era person prime?
The 90s person in his prime, but you can have whatever era of current wrestler you want. I'm talking more about, I don't want you to say, well, I really would like him to face dead Yokozuna.
Right.
That doesn't.
Never say that. No,
you wouldn't. DFA might, but
that's fucked up.
So, whatever wrestler from the 90s you want.
Okay. So, WCW or WWF, right?
Yes.
So I want to use Jon Moxley, given how crazy psychopathic he is. Trying to think of.
I just made my prediction in the chat. Don't look, JLB.
I won't look. I'll be a good guy. I would kind of like to see him go up against like Prime Austin. Technically, I think that would be a fun match. What is that? What you wrote? I swear to God,
I put Stone Cold.
Stone Cold.
Oh.
I thought for sure you'd go Stone Cold.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's fine.
So
go for it.
I mean, just because they're both kind of crazy, like Austin has his moments. Obviously, he's a mean mother effer and so on. If not Austin, I was going to choose Sandman, but Sandman was ECW. Just because they're both batshit crazy.
I will actually open it up to ECW as long as it's the 90s ECW.
Okay.
So that would also be an option.
I think Austin would be a better story though than Sandman. Just because both men could actually do a promo. Sandman could just hit a beer in his head and then talk drunkenly for 5-10 seconds. So, but yeah, I think Austin. I'll stick with Austin Moxley. I think that's just pay-per-view made in heaven, right there. Did you want me to book anything with this?
You don't need to, but if you want to, more power to you. Bonus points.
And I actually, okay, so if we'll do this, I think it's actually gonna be, I guess Moxley would be considered the heel out of the two, as he is gonna actually stand up for Vince McMahon. We had this Austin McMahon feud. McMahon is actually, he doesn't necessarily bring out Moxley. Moxley just comes and helps McMahon out. And I honestly think that would have actually made Moxley even a bigger star in WWE. And in reality, if they would have given his John Moxley gimmick in WWE, hands down, he would have been so much better than anything the Shield would have done. He basically was Austin anyways. So that's why I think it would be really interesting to see, but they're both kind of the same. So would it technically be a bit too much? I don't know, but I'm here all for it. And Vince McMahon brings Moxley in. Austin Moxley at WrestleMania 17.
Okay. Choice number 2. Bray Wyatt.
Which Bray? Just for JLB's sake.
That's entirely up to JLB.
Okay.
That's up to me. Okay.
You had the choice with Dino. You have the choice with
fair.
Yeah, you have all 3 here. And 3 in a row, bud.
Oh wait, I'm doing this one, or I'm picking it for you?
It's 3 in a row.
3 in a row
that you have to do.
So now you have to do Bray as well.
All right, apologies. So I am picking. I guess I'm picking Fiend Bray versus old school Mankind, Boiler Room Mankind. I think that would be a good time. Mankind didn't really say much. He didn't have to. He was kind of crazy.
I'm going to point out that D.A. Fabe also predicted you would choose Mankind, so he's 2 for 2 on this.
And he's not I'm not even. I legit didn't even look though. Like I'm so predictable.
No, the reason I said it is they're the most similar, so that makes sense.
That I don't know how I would book it. I would think Bray would do like his Firefly Funhouse one time, and I think his Firefly Funhouses would also be freaking crazy in the Attitude Era. Like they would be so barbaric. And then Mankind randomly just comes in and puts the Fiend on fire, but in a better form than how Randy Orton put him on fire, and thus escalates a feud. And them in a Boiler Room brawl, I would kind of like to see. So that's how I would do that. They're both very similar and they work because they're both crazy, and we'll see the battle of the crazies, if you will.
Okay.
I like it.
And then I am going to do one more for you. We're going to head down to NXT. I want to know who you would choose to face off with Tommaso Ciampa.
Man, I don't watch enough of Ciampa's matches. I'm trying to think of his War Games match and his few of his older matches from a few years ago. That's a difficult one. And if you wrote something, I'm not looking.
Okay.
So, I
Once you pick, you may want to go look after the
for sure.
fact.
I'll look for sure. Tommaso Ciampa, I'm thinking. Gee golly, it's a really. And it sucks this is live. You can't even cut this out and shorten it or anything. I have 1, 2, 3 kids stuck in my head for some reason. I don't know why, but not X-Pac. 1, 2, 3 Kid, which is technically really early 90s. Let me see who you pick. And I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Sorry for digging through candy, Smarks.
Well, listen, all we heard up here was I'm trying to hear JLB's answer, and this is all I'm hearing.
It's okay. He hadn't given it yet.
That's it. To be fair, it knocked out the silence. So, Jeez Louise. At least I have the courtesy to put it on mute when I'm grabbing a chip, though. God damn.
Sorry.
No problem. But Benoit was a nice choice that you said there. That makes a lot of sense, too. I just was trying to think of a technician.
I like your 1, 2, 3 Kid. Yeah.
1, 2, 3 Kid, I think, would be interesting, though. I think they're kind of similar to a weird extent. And, yeah, I don't know. It would just be fun. Something that would never... Well, I guess it could still happen, but... Xbox definitely not in his prime anymore. But yeah, it could still technically go down. Weird way.
Okay.
Johnny Gargano would be the one for 1, 2, 3 Kid.
Yeah.
That would
makes
be
more
phenomenal.
sense. That
would
would.
So we will move on to DA Fabe.
And
So
I will
your
do the
first
same
choice,
thing.
Do the same
your
thing. It's
first
fine.
choice is Adam Cole, baby.
HBK. In a heartbeat, HBK. I should have said so that JLB could have typed something, but it was HBK. That's yeah. That's
Interesting.
showstopper versus showstopper. The only way I change that is if I want somebody that's a different personality than that. I'm gonna look at what you just put. So hold on. Triple H. That's not a bad choice either. That's really not. HBK just makes a lot of sense there, in my opinion, because you get very similar styles. I'd want it in a ladder match. I'd want it probably second ladder match. I don't think you can improve on HBK versus Razor Ramon. Anybody in the clique, because you put Triple H or Bret Hart. I think Bret Hart, HBK, or Razor Ramon all would be great picks. I chose HBK. He was the face of the biz for a little longer than anybody else. So
I was totally thinking you were going to go with Bret Hart. So that's
Bret,
my head.
Bret makes a lot of sense because Adam Cole is essentially HBK, so it does make a really, really good move.
Mm-hmm.
I chose HBK because I actually kind of predicted you were going to do Adam Cole at one point, and I was like HBK before you even got to me. So, yeah.
Okay. We will move on to choice number 2. This is what I'm interested to see who you could go with. Keith Lee. I'm going to go ahead and put my mine in the chat as well.
There's 2 predictions there. Okay.
And they are the same.
Yes. In fairness,
the most comparable guy to Keith Lee is Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yep. That's what we chose.
I don't think I want to do that though. I mean, it's a great choice to go. Who was the '90s version of Keith Lee? That's Bam Bam Bigelow. And a lot of my times I've said this, it would have been that. I don't think Bam Bam Bigelow is the right move though here. Goldberg.
What?
Interesting.
That is interesting.
I want that power battle. I think Goldberg against Keith Lee. I think Keith Lee could have replaced DDP or William Regal, as William Regal being the first challenge for Goldberg, the first one that took him a little longer, and DDP being the first that put a high quality world title match out of him that wasn't, some type of schmoz fest or something like that. I think Keith Lee, I think he can amplify the way Goldberg works with him. So I'm going to say Goldberg.
The real question is, can Goldberg, or could he in his prime, get Keith Lee up for the jackhammer?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he got Big Show up or he got Paul Wright up for the jackhammer.
Barely.
So yes, barely. I know. But I don't think Keith Lee's that much heavier than Kevin Nash, and he did it. The real question is, can Goldberg take a Spanish Fly? And I think the answer is probably no. So that's what hurts that. I don't think he can do the flips to do it. So,
me personally, I would have gone with Big Papa Pump.
That's a good move too.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
That's a really good move.
Versus Keith Lee. Mm-hmm. Pump that right in my veins. That's what I want.
You just want to hear another math promo. That's all you want.
Math promo was until TNA.
I know.
Yeah, I'm going with Goldberg. In fact, not only am I going with Goldberg, I end the teaser storyline, and I have Keith Lee be the one who takes it off of him. And I get a feud out of Goldberg and Keith Lee instead of a teaser storyline with Miss Elizabeth saying that Goldberg's stalking her.
Interesting. So I'm trying to decide where to go with my third one for you.
The most similar choice is Bam Bam. You guys were both right on that.
God, now I'm torn.
Did Bam Bam have good promos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, promos were pretty decent, especially in WCW. WWF never really gave him a shot. So, for your third option, I got two options for you. So just pick odds or evens.
Odd.
Okay. Aleister Black.
Even. No. Okay. Boy, that's a tough one because style is with certain people. The obvious similar style person that makes sense is Vampiro. I was never a Vampiro. Hogan was a bigger Vampiro fan than I was. I was never a big Vampiro fan. I think the feud works best with one of three people. I think there's benefit to all three of these. So the three I'm thinking are Jericho, Benoit. At 4, I'd throw Eddie in this. Jericho, Benoit. It's the outsiders. The Jericho or the whatever they were specially named. Jericho,
Radicals?
Benoit. Yeah, Radicals. Yeah. Jericho, Benoit.
When they were in WCW, they were the Revolution. Okay. And then they left for WWF and they became the Radicals.
Jericho, Benoit, Malenko. And Guerrero. Those were the ones I would say fit into this the best for feud reasons, not for style reasons. The one who's the most similar in style is probably Vampiro because he does have a very similar I don't the goth type thing, and then the
Yeah, but Vampiro I think is more lucha.
grounded.
So then,
It was a grounded lucha, which Aleister Black does lighter weight guy stuff. Glacier. You want me to say Glacier? Then I have martial arts versus martial arts. That would be a garbage fucking feud.
that'd be really garbage. I feel like Vince Russo would book it.
Oh my gosh.
And then he'd put the belt on David Arquette.
So Booker wouldn't be a bad one either though there. So I'm gonna go with Benoit right after the 1004 holds feud. Or not Benoit, the Jericho right after the 1004 holds feud. I think we could anytime you have a Jericho involved, it pulls the better promos out of other people. We really need to see. We haven't been given Aleister Black's ability to cut a promo. We've been given Aleister Black's ability to cut a vignette written by a retard. That's an inappropriate term. By a special needs individual who's an idiot. Because I don't know who wrote the vignettes. That's what I'm saying, and they were stupid. I don't want to sound politically incorrect, so I'm sorry for whatever I said there. Cut that out. Anyway, doesn't matter.
We're live, buddy.
I know. Hopefully viewership was down in that moment. Anyway,
I just had to play Mean Gene there for a second. We start again. We're live, buddy.
Valid.
I also wouldn't mind seeing Sid Vicious take a black mass to the face, but that's neither here nor there. I think the value comes in the timing for those two is always good. And I think you run with the possibility that you can maybe have a black mass get hit during an attempt at a lion salt, or an attempt at a backspring elbow or something like that. I think that there's some real significant in-ring ability between the two of them. I think there's some real significant promo ability between the two of them. And we all know that Jericho can carry a feud by himself. So at least promo wise. So I just think that there's something really good there. The match I'd more want to watch, any one of those four, and you can throw in Perry Saturn, but I don't know that Perry Saturn would be in my high pick on that. You can throw in Raven. Raven's a really good fit for that too. There's a ton of really good fits in that mid 90s WCW. But I'm going to go with Jericho.
Okay. For bonus points, did you want to hear what my other option for?
Sure.
Walter.
He goes against the wall.
Going back to Goldberg. It's really tempting. I want to see Walter versus Ric Flair in a chest slapping match.
That would be awesome.
First one to bleed from their chest loses.
Interesting. See, I was thinking in his prime, William Regal.
Also would be very good. They're built similar.
Yeah, but Walter's built a heck of a lot crazier, no?
A lot bigger.
Bigger.
Yeah. Walter's bigger,
yeah,
but they both have that classic British style wrestling.
Yeah. You don't see as many European uppercuts out of Walter, but that's mostly because he's slapping the nipples off of people.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, okay. So that was fun. So who wants to go to number 2?
I'll go.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I kind of thought about this in the last 10 minutes, but I think it is an interesting one. And it's kind of to pay homage to The Ultimate Warrior. So we obviously have an A&E documentary that came out on Sunday, and we're going to have Dark Side of the Ring doing something about the Warrior as well. So For those who didn't watch the A&D documentary, but who have known wrestling and have watched WrestleMania 6, was it 6 or 8? I believe it was 6, where Hogan faced the Ultimate Warrior, and that's when the Ultimate Warrior ended up beating Hogan. However, in the documentary and as seen, we see that WWE loses faith in what the Warrior could do because the fans essentially had lost faith in what the Warrior can do, and ultimately he had lost to Sergeant freaking Slaughter. So you are essentially rewriting history, and I would like you to book me your, aside from Andre, of course, because that was just a feud that kind of happened before, and that's what got Hogan over, so on. Book me your top villain to take away, to relinquish the title off Hulk Hogan. Your warrior, your new Ultimate Warrior, so to speak. Your next top guy.
Ric Flair. Thanks, done. Moving on. I'm sorry. Smarks' words just came out of my mouth. I don't know. Ric Flair's the answer.
But the fans were already done with Ric Flair, kind of, by then. No.
No. Yeah, that's why he only had another 10 title reigns after that. Ric Flair.
No.
Moving forward. Okay. So I won't take the cop out and say Ric Flair. I'm gonna let Smarks think on it for a little while. He's gonna have some really, really cheeky response, I'm sure. So you're talking babyface versus babyface type setup.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where Ric Flair gets ruled out. I think the right move is a move that they failed on a couple years later. I think the right move, unfortunately, that person is not ready for it yet. It would have been Bret Hart. I think he had the right stuff, baby, at that time. At the identical time, if you wanted a big powerhouse that can get a lot of heat, King Kong Bundy had that feud in a very close time to when Warrior had that feud. Big John Studd is in there. You've got a lot of guys that are can do the heel heat, the babyface stuff. If it's 8. Then if it's WrestleMania 8, then it's Bret Hart. If it's at WrestleMania 6, that's a little tougher to pick, and I think I go with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I think that's babyface versus babyface. I think you can get to the contrast of two styles. I think that it shows that Hogan's susceptible to the high flyer. I just think there's a lot of gain in doing it that way. So I'm going to go with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. To be the one that takes it off of him and amplifies the fan love for babyface, which can lead us into when Ric Flair joins the company, getting a rematch of Ricky the Dragon and Flair that we'd seen a couple years earlier, so in a different promo. So that's what I'm going to go with is Dragon.
Was Ricky that popular? Like, I know he was big. But
yeah, I don't know if he was. Popular? I don't know if he was Warrior popular, but I also think that has a lot to do with booking. Ricky got really popular in his feud with Flair, which is because of Flair. I mean, Flair gets some of the best heel heat in the game, but I think he could have been. He was good guy. Popular. Who are you talking to, Smarks?
Sorry, I had my mic muted. I was saying he also was potentially the best wrestler, like mat wrestler, on the planet at the time. So worth also playing into that a wrestler of his caliber coming in and facing off with Hogan could have helped elevate Hogan a lot too.
Yeah. So, I go with Ric Flair. Barring it not being, if there's time to wait, then it's Bret Hart. Bret Hart has the babyface work. It works. So either one of those. But if it's the exact same year, Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah, I don't think they would ever would have done Brett versus Hogan though. The only reason why Brett and Shawn got big was because of the whole steroid scandal, right? So Vince had to stop pushing their bigger guys. They were starting to implement tests, and which Warrior has also failed, and so on. So that's where he's like, okay, Brett, let's go. Okay, Shawn, let's go. And that's where they focused more on the less bigger guys, the more middleweight, if you will.
Well,
but that would have been interesting to see, though.
Part of the thing about Hogan that makes it so tough is because there was, I mean, you give me, I can probably name half a dozen baby faces that were world championship caliber at the time because everybody was a freaking heel because Hogan had to be a giant baby face. So in order for somebody to be a world title contender, they had to be a heel to go up against Hogan. That was the rarity in Ultimate Warrior. Even Savage had to turn heel to feud with Hogan. You know, yeah, we saw him as a title contender, but he had to turn heel to actually have the feud. Dragon wasn't a world title contender because Hogan was in the picture, even though Dragon was probably one of the best wrestlers in the world. So that's the hard part, is finding another baby face that is believable as the world title contender in an era where steroids meant you were a world title contender.
Right. And they put it on Sergeant Slaughter.
Well,
I get it.
But he was heel. He went heel, and he went heel in the biggest of ways.
Mm-hmm. So my answer to this probably is going to be a little less satisfying in some ways, because my answer is you don't change anything immediately following WrestleMania 6 is the one it was, WrestleMania 6. Because from a timing issue, there needs to be a little bit of a buffer here. But the real feud, the first heel feud for like major heel feud for Hulk Hogan. Yes, we're nerds. A debuting Undertaker. He debuted later that year. And while, yes, you have him currently, you had him debut and go up against so-and-so and whatever. What better way to have him debut, hot shot him straight to the front, is debut against Hogan as a foil for super babyface Hogan. Now, he didn't debut till November, and that's why there's a timing issue, because we're talking from April till November. We move up his debut a bit, but I don't think he'd be able to just, immediately. So you'd still have him do his little feud with Sergeant Slaughter, drop the belt, leave for a bit, and then come back, win the belt back off Sergeant Slaughter, and then you would have to have him feud with somebody, and that's when you'd bring Undertaker in. So Undertaker straight to the top, going after.
So you're not going to do a babyface versus babyface like Warrior versus Hogan was?
No. I'm going to bring a heel in. Because that's the other thing we have to remember. Early Undertaker was a heel.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It was only later in his career that we got to be a lot of face Undertaker.
I think the first time he was really a face was the Yokozuna feud.
Mm-hmm. And so having heel Undertaker come in, this would have been 1990. Heel Undertaker come in and just go straight after the top would have been my choice. It really wouldn't have changed a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, because you still would have had that time in the middle there where Hulk still had his little stupid feuds. But the other side of the coin is, we're talking, a year before about a year, a little over a year before WWE was going to be like, well, shit, we got to put other people to the top because we're getting hit by the steroid scandal. So doesn't matter what we do with Hulk in WWF circa 1990-91, because early 93 steroid scandal hits, he's basically out. So, but I think you hotshot Undertaker to the top. It would have changed a lot for Undertaker for him to be put straight in a main event feud right off the bat.
He might not have been wrestling for 30 years if this happened.
We might have been saved the last 3 years.
Yeah,
sounds like a win-win for me.
Okay, but my fantasy booking was you have to book your Warrior. Who's taking it off of Hogan at WrestleMania 6?
Oh, you didn't say that. I thought you said that, you wanted the next feud after.
What?
No. I got replacing
asked,
Warrior.
Oh, I didn't hear. I guess I didn't get that.
You didn't get the memo.
I heard it as, what do you do next after he because you didn't like what happened afterwards.
Oh, okay. No, I could see where you kind of,
because here's the deal: is he needs to. I mean, I think the Warrior feud has to happen that way. I don't think the whole scheme of things happened. I think in reality there should have been a comeuppance, because if they would have had SummerSlam 1990, a rematch where Hulk comes back and wins the title back off of, it would have saved us from fucking 20 minutes of wasted time in the mid-90s on WCW.
Oh, you don't know for a fact that Hogan wanted his win back. The rumors still exist.
I don't know for a fact that he wanted his win back. I do, however, know that if he had gotten a clean win over Ultimate Warrior, there wouldn't have been a desire to have brought him in. Not necessarily from him, but from the marketability of it. Even if we just take Hogan out of it and we put it all on Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff had the marketability of the only guy who ever beat Hogan and did not get beat back, right? The only guy who Hogan doesn't have a win over. And if that wasn't there, that's not a market that Eric Bischoff could have tried to exploit.
And if that wasn't there, we wouldn't have got Warrior's 20-minute promo.
That's what he was saying.
That's my point. Would have saved us from that. So,
and the mirror, the freaking Hogan seeing Warrior in the mirror. Oh, jeez.
Well, I think that it's cute that you think that it couldn't happen that way. However, that's not the challenge. How do you feel about it? The challenge is to actually change it.
And my response to it is I'm not changing it. My response is I would book Ultimate Warrior to beat Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 6.
You're such a party pooper. You have to change it.
Out.
Yeah,
that is such a cop out.
You have to change it.
That's your challenge, is to change it.
Okay,
I chose Ricky Steamboat so I could have babyface versus babyface, so it does the same thing.
Okay. That's fine. Give me. I don't want to do babyface versus babyface. That's number one. Now I've got to think all over because I heard.
So you have King Kong Bundy run out to the ring, shake the ropes. It's King Kong Bundy. That would be funny to watch him try and pretend to be Ultimate Warrior.
Oh Jesus! He break the ropes? No. Why does the ropes break?
There's only 3. Why isn't there 5?
That's good. That's good.
It's Sid Vicious. I feel like it's Sid Vicious. No.
Was that actually a good match? I was watching the clips because clearly I don't watch old WrestleManias unless we do it for a watch along or something. That Warrior Hogan match, it seemed like it wasn't that long.
The question you really need to ask is, did Ultimate Warrior ever have good matches?
JLB, read the chat. Smarks don't.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it'd be garbage.
Yeah, garbage, but it would make sense. That's Ultimate
I can
Babyface.
totally see that coming out of his mouth unless he's just insisting on not doing babyface versus babyface.
I think we're just gonna sit here all day until we give up.
I am insisting on not doing babyface versus babyface.
I feel like he's gonna hold us hostage.
Okay, we're done. We're done. Then
Nope. I'm here. I had to look up the roster for early 1990 because I had my own choice
Swipe.
based on lane.
Okay.
Swipe. Swipe. Swipe.
So if you're taking Ultimate Warrior away from me at that point, then I'm
Brutus the
probably
Barber
gonna do
Beefcake.
Rick Rude.
Ooh, I like it.
Ooh, I do like that.
Now you can look at the chat.
Oh,
I did indeed see that name and thought, yeah, that would be shitty, but no.
I like Rick Rude though. That's a good move.
Yeah.
And I think he deserved a title run and never got one, so that works.
he never got one.
Not the main card title, mid cards
Oh,
he had
wow.
all the time.
Mm.
Same thing with Roddy Piper.
Yeah, that would have also been a really good one there. I don't know if he was on the roster at the time, was he?
I don't know if he was early 1990s. He was 1990 roster, but I don't know exactly when.
He was in that era though, and that's fair because I don't think Dragon was there yet. Maybe it was.
But
So anyway, good choice. I like that one.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, that's way better than Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh,
Way better.
Where's my 2x4?
That would have been such a garbage babyface versus babyface.
I mean,
So
it would
bad.
have been, I guess, kind of. The fans actually really liked them, though, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Because USA was the whole thing.
It would be easier to put over Duggan at that time than it would have been to put over Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
well, yeah, at that time, Duggan actually wasn't like we remember Duggan as absolute cannon fodder, the definition of a jobber. But at that time in WWE,
He just won the Royal Rumble.
yeah, he was not
Oh, that's
considered a nobody. He wasn't. He wasn't world championship caliber necessarily.
He was no
But-
honky tonk. Whew. Sorry about that.
Yeah, he was no Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Fuck. I gotta check one more option.
So essentially, because we're replacing Warrior, that also means Ricky the Dragon Steamboat would have also beaten Honky Tonk Man for the Intercontinental Championship.
That would be
God, I
awesome.
should have done Greg Valentine.
Oh my god.
Fucking Greg Valentine. Hatchet face himself.
Wow.
Anyways, we will go ahead and move on to DA Fabe's challenge.
Okay, I'm going to let you pick between two professionals, one that in the socials was all over the place the last couple of days, and one that in the news was all over the place the last couple of days. So you got to choose between Alexa Bliss and Zelina Vega.
Alexa Bliss.
Both of you agree? Alexa Bliss?
Oh, okay, yeah, Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss.
Rest in peace to her pig.
That's where we're going. She just had a apparently my Alexa, shut up. Mine decided to listen. Ms. Bliss has a situation where her pig just died, and that is it's very, very sad. She had to leave to go to Raw. She got home in time to say goodbye overnight. She had a pet pig. In honor of her pig,
Larry Steve.
Yes, it's Larry Steve, right?
Larry Steve, yes.
Larry Steve, that's what I thought. In honor of her pig, book a change in her storyline because of the heartbreak.
Okay.
She gets to write this. This is not WWE writers. Please don't make this disrespectful.
No. JLB, you want to go first or you want me to go first?
You go first, good sir.
Okay. So, I mean, the simple change that we have to do one way or another, we have to figure out how to do this with Alexa Bliss, is to get her back to old Alexa Bliss.
Because that's who lost the pig, not really this fake demonic gal.
Even more than that, though, that's who's better. Right?
Yeah.
Amen.
That's the character we want to see. I don't know anyone who's clamoring to see the Fiend Alexa on a regular basis. Right. So I think what we have her do is have her be sad, have Nikki Cross try to console her. Nikki Cross, who finally returns to action this week to get beat up for 2 minutes, but happened to survive long enough to technically win the match, even though
don't get me started. Stupidest thing in the world.
2 minutes.
Stupidest thing in the world. I don't even get why they did that. Like, I'm happy she's on TV, but way to make your champion look stupid. Mm-hmm. Can't beat her. Well, one, thank God she didn't beat her in 2 minutes because that would have been ridiculous. But it was just stupid all around for everybody. And then Charlotte, of course, looks like the best one out there because woo.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you have Nikki Cross try to console her. Hey, I heard about your pig. You have Alexa look like she's accepting the consolation, take the hug, and then over Nikki Cross's shoulder, you see Alexa, and her eyes just go into that like mean bitch eyes that she was so good at doing. And then she just lays out Nikki Cross and says, "You weren't there for me the last fucking 3 months. You weren't there for me. No one was there for me. I got calls from people who don't even work here to come help me out when Larry Steve was doing bad. Where were you? You weren't there." And so we put her back in a feud with Nikki Cross, but let her be Mean Girl Alexa again. Because here's the deal. She's so fucking witty. She's so smart when you allow her to be Mean Girl. And I know she's having fun with the current Alexa Bliss storyline. She's apparently being consulted on it and co-writing it and everything.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But we need to see old Alexa back. And then you have her make a run for the title. Because frankly, right now with the Raw title is Rhea Ripley a face? Is she a heel?
She's a face.
She's supposed to be a face, but she acts very heelish for a face. Like losing track of her anger and beating up on Nikki Cross until it crosses the 2-minute mark, so she loses a match. That's heel shit, you know? And of course, Charlotte's a heel. Charlotte's always a heel, right? But you've got Asuka as a face, you got Nikki Cross as a face, you've got a bunch of face options. So we need heel mean bitch Alexa back. That's how I'd go with it.
Yeah, that's the best Alexa. I mean,
and it allows her to do it this way, allows her to pay homage to Larry Steve and bring him into the storyline and still show she cares about him, and yet at the same point she just absolutely destroys Nikki Cross and turns heel on Nikki Cross, which I think helps her out that way too. And she can break the fourth wall a bit. Like I said, she can say she got calls from other companies, right? People who don't even work here. Because according to news reports, not even news reports, according to Twitter, she got a call from Dax Harwood of FTR saying he was going to drive out with his pickup truck and pick him up and take Larry Steve to whatever vet they could find to. Because that's apparently was the problem, is none of the vets in the area in Florida would work on a pig. They wouldn't work on a pig. They kept turning, oh, it's a pig? No, we're not going
to. Well, they said it was too big, I think.
We don't treat pigs here. Pigs aren't pets. Pigs are farm animals. And we're a pet vet. Which, in fairness, for the vets, pigs are typically farm animals. Wow. And that's why most people who have pigs as pets have to find farm vets to treat them. But it's still shitty. And so Dax Harwood was like, I'll load him up in my truck. I'll drive him to whatever vet you can find that'll work on him and try to help him out. But anyways, That's how I would do it. How would you do it, JLB?
So I think you still keep her in the crazy character that she is in now. And you really make the death of her pig into the storyline, and this makes her go even more batshit crazy. Maybe even less, but honestly, this is where you can kind of maybe change it, where she's less magical and she's more cryptic. She's more angry, more aggressive, more like, no, I don't want to use magic to destroy you. I want to use my bare hands and beat the living hell out of you. I want to punch in my frustration on your face, sort of ordeal. So you kind of make her more demented in that way. And you maybe do like, I don't know, she maybe gets this like, I don't know, like I don't want to seem insensitive, but you get some kind of like pig chain or something like that she always has with her, and someone like, tries to remove it or something, and then she just goes completely apeshit. So you really use that into the storyline really well, because you would also believe it if it's someone you truly. I think she had the pig when the pig was like really, really tiny. So I feel like it's more than like 10 years, 15 years that she's had that pig. So, and us as the viewers would really believe it, because it's like you lost someone that you loved. If someone that you loved passed away, and, it can make people do some crazy shit. So, I still think you keep it, but this is where you get an opportunity to make her more demented and a little bit more hands-on and less magical. Because I think that's kind of what the issue is with Alexa right now. She's just way too magical. I'm sick of it. I don't think she did anything with Shayna this week, which, great, because I'm done her using magical powers on Shayna. Maybe she can use her magical powers to give Shayna a freaking title shot that she deserves.
Well, she didn't use it. Well, she didn't actually appear on Raw this week.
Right.
Because I think she left early. She was driving to Raw, and I think she just turned around and headed home. They did, however, have the flames go off during the Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax versus Natalya and Tamina match. Okay. And really, it looked more like she's attacking Reginald, not Shayna Baszler. That's what it's looking like she's doing, because this time it happened as Reginald was walking up the ramp. They went off right next to him on the way up the ramp. And keep in mind,
why Reginald?
I don't know exactly why, and maybe it's to get at Shayna. Who knows? But
Shayna hates Reginald. Why is this a thing?
Because it's her going after Reginald is costing Shayna matches. But keep in mind, Alexa said weeks ago on one of them that she saw red in her future or something like that. And Reginald always wears that red suit, right?
Right.
Those stupid high water pants. Fucking Reginald. And so, but again, Shayna Baszler also has red on her outfit usually. So, but the attacks all seem to be at Reginald. So I don't know. Anyways. But yeah,
I guess we'll see.
Alexa didn't appear this week, but there was fire attack at Reginald. So that's still going on somehow or another.
I mean, I don't know, because I don't think you can just get rid of this demented story, her being a fiendette sort of thing, just like that. You can't just, oh, now she's just normal. I mean, I guess you kind of could, because whatever, it's WWE. And then, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you could
Two
just be
words,
like,
Katie, Vic. You can just end it and move on. Fake Katie.
Yeah, I agree. You 100% can just move on. You can drop storylines and just never talk about them again. We said this on the Bobby Lashley Lana storyline. You just fucking drop it and roll on. And for the most part, they did.
Right.
And this is another one that they can just drop and roll on. Maybe you give her a loss as this, and then you drop it and roll on. So you have it lead to a match at Hell in a Cell versus Shayna Baszler, and Shayna beats the tar out of her and wins at Hell in a Cell, and then we never see Fiend Alexa
because you
again.
still have to see Lily. Lily still has to come out. We haven't seen Lily yet, right? They're just going to drop that too?
Lily
Nope.
is a doll.
Don't have to have that. Don't have to have it.
As far as we know, Lily is a doll.
No, but someone is Lily, though. Didn't she mention something like that?
She talked about Lily from her childhood, but Lily from her childhood could still have been Lily the doll, or her imaginary friend that she imbued in the doll.
Fake Kane.
Yep. But again, once Alexa loses, the whole Lily storyline can just be gone. We don't have to. You just give her a loss, have her beat so bad that you beat the Fiend out of her, and then she disappears for a few weeks or a month or 2 months or whatever, and then she comes back and she's just good old Alexa Bliss, and you never talk about it again.
And Bray gets the Fiend back in him. Ta-da! We beat the Fiend back into Bray.
Straight up. Okay. Yeah, I mean they've definitely have done worse in terms of trying to get rid of storylines. So and Alexa could pull that off easily. She just randomly comes in. Oh, hey Nikki, how's it going? Alexa, you're talking to me? Yeah, what's up? You know, she has kind of been playing that when she first started her Fiend gimmick, like she was still normal. So then, you know, that would work because we would all just we would just love to see Alexa be her regular self again. That we'd just be like, you know what, we'll go with it. As long as we get great Alexa Bliss, let's go. That's some good S word. So.
Yep.
Yippers.
Boom. So that has been all 3 of our challenges so far, correct?
Yes, sir. Smarks.
We just ran through those. So now it is time to do AEW, Ring of Honor, or Impact. The rules of this are pretty simple. This is our lovely game where I throw out 3 current WWE wrestlers, and they have to book which one of those promotions they would put those individual wrestlers. All Elite Wrestling, Ring of Honor, or Impact. And then they get to do it back to me, and we all have sorts of fun. So, for me, my challenge for you guys, I am doing the we're going to doing the former members of the Hurt Business, including Bobby Lashley, because he's the only one left in the Hurt Business. So you got Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley.
What are you doing with MVP?
Apparently not counting him.
He's not an active wrestler. He's a manager, so he's not in this list.
Damn. That's harsh. Although he did wrestle.
When was the last time he wrestled?
I don't know. I feel like sometime last year.
Yeah, last year. He's on crutches right now.
Shelton Benjamin to AEW, Bobby Lashley to Impact, and Cedric Alexander to ROH.
Oh, you got a lolly.
Yep.
So
The
say that
women
again?
Tootsie Pop. I don't know if
We
it's
call
gonna
them
be-
suckers down here in the States, boy.
Yeah, certainly are suckers. That's for sure. So what you said?
You said
Sorry.
Shelton Benjamin to AEW, Bobby Lashley to Impact, Cedric to Ring of Honor, correct?
I don't think I've ever been able to silence JLB quite like that. Yes, that's what I said.
That's
Mm. So
Do I have to give a
JL
reason why, or
Nope.
can I just okay? Perfect.
No.
This whole segment has gone south really fast because of this one lollipop.
So yeah, no, I'm thinking you bring Cedric to AEW. Cedric to AEW. I think Cedric has potential. I don't know what he's doing with Shelton right now. Whatever he's doing with Shelton is stupid. But I think when given a chance, is when he was on 205 Live, Cedric was pretty freaking awesome. When given the opportunity to do what he wants, and I think AEW will give him that freedom. So I would like to see him go there. Bobby Lashley, you bring him to where he was the most popular in his career, which is Impact, just because why not? Him versus Moose would be crazy. And then Shelton goes to ROH because there ain't nothing stopping him now except getting injured. So he should go to ROH and manage someone.
Wow. Ain't no stopping me. No.
Hey, and I love Shelton Benjamin back in the day, and I guess he could kind of go, but he's too bulky now. I don't know. I'm not a fan anymore.
Okay, I do want to make one side note about this. Moose is by far the best wrestler in Impact. And the reason I say that is it's always Moose we talk about somebody facing from Impact.
Yep.
Always Moose. The dude has draw. That's all there is to it.
Straight up.
Yes.
When is he
And-
facing Omega?
We do not know.
Damn it.
I if I'm correct, it's at the next pay-per-view. However, apparently Moose's contract is either up or up very, very soon, and he has not officially re-signed. So that could always change things there.
Yeah, you could. Well, I mean, whatever. You can always sign to AEW, and we still get that match. What up?
We very well could. He's been playing the Twitter game of hinting that he's going to NXT, or like he said, hey, what's my contract with Impact? Where should I go next? N lowercase e capital XT. So anyways.
As long as one of his answers isn't retire.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, he was smart enough not to put it as a poll and not to put retire as an answer. But in fairness, I think he's liked enough that even if he put retire as an answer, I don't
Something
think
else would win.
Yeah, I think one of the other ones would win. He'd get some trolls voting retire, but
Yeah, he's not Ryback.
right.
he's
Definitely not
right
Ryback.
back.
So,
Anyways,
go ahead, JLB.
Well, I guess it's your turn, no?
well, whoever
Who's on
wants
you?
to do
I'm
the next
sorry.
challenge.
I said Shelton Benjamin to AEW, Bobby Lashley to Impact, and Cedric Alexander at ROH. Did you miss it when I said that?
And did you miss when I said mine?
Yeah. Oh, so now you want me to challenge now?
No, I want you to hang up the phone call. Yes, I want you to check.
This motherfucker.
Glass of milk, table 2.
Oh God.
It's all love. Hashtag all love.
I would pay $1 right now to take the camera off of JLB and have come back and have him being like with a saucer of milk in front of him. I think that'd be great. Anyway, this is why I don't book stuff. All right. Let's go with. We're gonna take Shayna, Nia, and Bailey since they're in a group now. Yeah,
It's only for like 1 week.
Yeah, I think it was just a one-off thing. They're just all heels, and so.
Well, too bad I already said it. Go.
That's fine.
Bye.
You want to go first, JLB? You want me?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So Shayna, we are absolutely. She could be really good in Impact, though. But I'd like to see her thrive in AEW. But Bailey is also a great talker. Bailey to AEW, Shayna to Impact, and who's the other one?
Nia.
Oh, yeah. Nia goes to ROH and then gets fired there and then ends up homeless on the street and
Wow, that's fucked, dude.
doesn't get changed there. And
She can have her own life, man.
she definitely can. That's true. As long as it's outside of wrestling, then by all means, enjoy. Go to Disney World every day if you want to. Yep. So
Okay.
that's what I'm doing with mine. Yep. That easy peasy.
So for me,
What shirt is that, by the way? Talk less.
talk less, Claymore.
Yes. Okay.
It's got the McIntyre M down at the bottom.
Should have known it was
My
a
Finn
wrestling
Balor
shirt.
shirt was dirty, so I had to wear this one. God, this is tougher because I feel like I've answered before 1,000 times when Shayna Baszler was an option that Shayna Baszler should go to AEW. And I feel like,
But I don't think she was at the same time as one of the four horsewomen
yeah.
ever before.
So I don't want to answer the same thing again, but along the same lines, I'm a huge Shayna Baszler mark. So Baszler to AEW. God. The tough thing is this is one of those situations where Nia does not fit in Ring of Honor in any way, shape, or form. So Bailey to Ring of Honor and Nia to Impact. I feel sorry for the Impact wrestlers. Hopefully they've got good insurance. But
Prices on Lords of London just went up quite a bit.
However, quite frankly, it would be fun to see Jordan Grace throw Nia around once or twice.
Could she
Yeah,
throw Nia around? Well, yeah.
It'd be
she
fun
could
to see
do that.
Nia tap to Deonna Purrazzo too.
Yeah. So I think that's what I would do.
Poor Bailey.
Yeah, poor Bailey has to go. Well, but Ring of Honor's focusing heavily on their women's division, so she could be another one of those that goes there to headline the women's division and show them off.
That's fair.
But that is what I would do. So that brings an end to AEW
No, it doesn't.
Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I guess it
JLB hasn't
does.
gone.
JLB hasn't done?
No. Jesus,
Okay.
he just wants to end it.
I
All
could
right,
have sworn he already had, but
No, he was throwing a fit because he wanted me to go first.
Yeah, that's what I do. So we're going with
because I could have sworn he talked about. Oh, so it's JLB's turn to challenge. Sorry, that's where my
Yeah.
brain
Yeah.
was getting confused. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
no problem.
Yep.
You,
I was remembering him answering, and I was like,
I know my answers seem like challenges sometimes.
Amen to that.
"You talking seems like a challenge sometimes."
I walked right into that.
I feel like you need a saucer of milk before these shows sometimes. No, we can't. We can't throw back 6 minutes. That doesn't work. Okay, sorry.
No. So we're going with big guys.
What? A theme
Mhm.
again?
No, don't just say. I feel like we've done everything though. Okay, hold on. We're eventually going to run out of wrestlers and different.
Yeah,
types of-
we're at some point we're gonna have to time machine this portion of the podcast.
Well,
we still
in-
technically could.
In fairness, at some point
done
we
it
could
before.
change it to WWE, Ring of Honor, and Impact, and it'd be all AEW wrestlers. And then we could do it again, AEW, WWE, or Ring of Honor, and it just be Ring or Impact wrestlers. And so we got a chance. We got some time.
That's fair. Can I actually pick 3 AEW stars to bring them to the any of the other
Sure.
federations?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. So we are going with Sammy Guevara, Orange Cassidy, and Eddie Kingston.
Okay.
Yes, Eddie Kingston.
I'll go ahead and take this one first
Go for it.
because there's no way I'm putting Orange Cassidy in WWE, right? That's just asking for trouble. So Orange Cassidy to Impact, Sammy Guevara to WWE, and Eddie Kingston to Ring of Honor. Eddie Kingston bringing his promo skills to Ring of Honor would be a big get for them. Orange Cassidy can fit in with the Outcasts at Impact. They're kind of a mud show carnival there, so they can have fun with that. And then I think I really do. I'm 100% on board with the idea. Sammy Guevara is a star of the future. He might be mid-card now, but in a few years, he's going to be a household name in professional wrestling, and he has the best chance in WWE.
Definitely has the look. Not crazy on his promo skills, but again, few years, he'll get better.
I don't think his promo skills are any worse than half the people in WWE.
That's probably
It's called a promo, son. If you're going to be a big dog, you got to learn how to do that.
I gotta rewatch that. That was a classic promo. Or in your case, it's a shoot.
Turned into a shoot. They worked themselves into a shoot on that one.
They
Go
did.
back and watch WBU from 2 nights ago. Ooh.
Where promos aren't promos and shoots are bang bang.
And shoots are math.
There you go.
No, that was a promo.
Eddie Kingston to WWE. I kind of regret that a little bit, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, he'd certainly be the next Brooklyn Brawler.
That's who I heard the thought of too. But I think he can also create a faction to feud with the Table, or whatever the name of it is.
Oh, romance.
Yeah,
The Table.
I don't know what their name is. The Usos, the Anoa'i family,
Roman's
Paul
Empire.
Heyman guys, whatever you want to call them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I am not as big a fan of Sammy Guevara, and I think Impact will embrace the Orange Cassidy role better. So I'm going to put Orange Cassidy to Impact and Sammy Guevara to ROH.
Okay.
What a Sammy hater. But at least it's different.
I think the style of wrestling fits Sammy better there. And I know Ultimate X Match, I get it. That would also be really cool with Orange Cassidy. You know who it wouldn't be cool with? Eddie freaking Kingston.
This is valid. AKA Brooklyn Brawler in WWE. Brooklyn
Yes.
Brawler version 2
Yeah.
in WWE.
I think we need Eddie Kingston to try and save somebody's life from an explosion again.
Straight up.
Yeah,
Straight up.
run out there.
Have him run out in a Goldberg match. Goldberg goes out, he gets hit by the sparks, Eddie tackles him and just covers him. Bring back Goldberg just so Eddie can protect him from the explosions.
Kudos to
that'd be
him.
so horrible.
How would you know though? Like, kudos to him. Like, you think it's gonna be a big
Oh,
explosion?
Yeah, I mean, he was
Well-
legitimately expecting like ring implosion and shit like that.
The
and
thing
it's-
is, what they should have done,
sparklers.
they should have called an audible. This is not on him. This should have been on the backstage people and the refs. And when the ref came out and checked
Hey,
on
you're
them,
fine.
he
He
should have
sat
said,
up and been like,
"Yeah."
oh,
It should have said, "We're audibling this. The fireworks didn't go off as bad. You know, whatever. Sit up and play it off like it wasn't so bad." But, anyways.
oh my gosh, the heat off that
Yeah.
explosion.
Oh, it sent me into PSD and PTSD and
Yeah.
I
Literally,
wanna
the
watch it
people with
again.
headphones on that you can hear, that can hear the backstage, did not get an audible. That's on Gorilla. That's on Tony Khan.
Tony Khan. Yeah. So, but anyways, on that note, we will start to wrap things up for the Fantasy Booking Institute. I almost called this the WBU. So if you happen to join us for the live stream, thanks for joining us. Otherwise, thanks for listening. However you do, whether you're watching the replay on YouTube or Facebook or listening to us on podcast, thanks for joining us today. Do make sure to check all of the links in the doobly-doos down below, right down there. Yeah, we're going to have links to our Patreon, our merch store, our socials, all of that stuff down there. So you can check that out. Like I said, we're going to be adding in some live watch-alongs that are going to be Patreon exclusives. So you'll definitely want to follow us on Patreon. And, you follow us on Patreon, you can get me to do the Hulk Hogan beard. Otherwise, though, make sure to follow us on our social medias. You can follow me at Raw and Order WBU right there. You can follow DA Fabe.
At DA Vincent K. Fabe.
And then you can follow JLB at
JLB 420, but Real Talk Radio is the brand at Real Talk Radio 8. Hate is gonna hate, but I talk about everything and anything, movies, music, a little bit of wrestling as well. Just so you guys know, I still haven't technically updated the Collision in Korea. It's all ready to go. It's just, I don't know. I didn't click the upload on YouTube and Anchor yet. So yeah, so there you have it. You were right off.
Still
the first
come in
month.
longer than the actual episode.
Technically,
After cleaned it up.
it's well, I mean, the episode was what, 45 minutes legit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it was 6 minutes over.
So you did a documentary about a documentary.
That's what
Not
I
a
did.
recap.
Not a recap.
Okay.
What's a recap when you could document a documentary?
Good Lord. This
And,
this is my mini series about a television show.
Oh my god, I just watched Black Mirror and that first episode was crazy. I could do like 2 hours on that episode.
I can't throw too much shade on this whole thing because I literally right now am obsessed with YouTube watch-alongs of some of my favorite movies where the person just watches the movie and you watch their reaction. And I'm watching most of the shortened ones, but they put full versions of them up, and I watch the crap out of them. I'm in the middle of, I'm 9 episodes into this girl who's watching Firefly from the beginning,
Mm.
and then is going to watch Serenity. And if there was one TV show that I could watch again for the first time, it's Firefly. So it's kind of fun watching it from her side.
It's like the
her reaction.
full-on episode, or are you like just watching along with her kind of thing? Just like
She does the full-on watch along on her Patreon,
right.
but I'm not a Patreon supporter of hers yet.
One job.
So instead, I found her by she did a watch along of The Princess Bride, which is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh,
And so I enjoyed her watch along, and then I saw she did watch alongs of Serenity, and then earlier in that she did Firefly, and I'm like, ooh, now I got to watch all of those.
isn't that technically illegal though? If she has the full length of, or anybody has the full length of her watch along.
Her watch alongs, she does in the way that we'll probably have to do, where you have to find your own copy of it to watch at the same time as her. But it's so you play her video and then you play the video of the episode on a different thing or in a different window, and
At the same
you
time.
watch at the same time. Anyways. But that's beside the point. Make sure to check out all the links in the doobly doos and subscribe to us on Patreon. But we are going to go ahead and close the book on the Fantasy Booking Institute. Thank you all for listening. We will see you soon.
Rest in peace, Larry Steve.
Poink.